I was born in Kingston, so I was born. Yeah, I was born in St Mary's thing, Royal Thing Children's Hospital. At this point, both my parents were still on this earth and we're still together. I say thing, fortunately and gladly, but really, I kind of really, to a point, wish they weren't together at that point, really. But, yeah, but if they weren't, my younger siblings would never have known their father and would have never have known what sort of horrible thing, individual he really was, and still is to a point, really. Basically, from the day I was born till just before my 15th birthday, he wasn't only mentally and verbally aggressive and abusive, he was incredibly physically abusive. Not just in beating me black and blue and putting me in such a broken, damaged form that I actually had to be put into an induced coma for just shy of 2 years. He was incredible. He was also abusive in the other way, physically, shall we say. And I knew what he was doing was wrong, but I never spoke up about it for one reason. My mother never ever deserved to have any of her children taken away from her, because she did, and when I say this, I mean she did absolutely everything she possibly could to give us the best thing childhood and the best upbringing we possibly could ever have. She gave, if she could have given her last breath to make either any one of us happier and stronger, she would have done it like that. No questions. But it was very difficult for one reason. I basically was a dad's thing, his living thing, punch bag. Basically his living thing, like way of him releasing his thoughts and his actions, his behaviour. And it got to the point that, bear in mind that at this point I'm only aged, I think I was what, 8, 9? I worked out what he was doing was wrong and wasn't acceptable and was bad, but I didn't know how bad and in what way it was bad, but I just knew it was wrong, and you shouldn't have been able to do it and shouldn't have got away with doing it. But I knew if I spoke up and said anything, I knew we would have all been put into care and we would have all been split up. And that wouldn't have been fair on my mum. So, me being me, and how much I loved and cared about my mum, and how much my thing, brothers and sisters actually meant to me, I chose to stay quiet and just take it and just deal with it. To the point where it was just before my 15th birthday that I just couldn't take any more. I just couldn't cope with any more. I just couldn't take any more. Something in me just snapped. And I got back from school, and all I could hear before I'd even walked into the house was arguing and raised voices, and yeah. And my mum basically screaming at the top of her lungs. Not of rage, of fear. Yeah. To which point I've come flying through the front door. Haven't even taken my shoes off. I've gone right into the kitchen. And there he is, screaming at her, right up in her face, pinning her in the corner of the kitchen, by her throat, and he's looking round at the knife block. And I could see in his eyes what he was gonna do. I've jumped across the central kitchen work surface, and I've flying kicked him, both feet, straight off her. And I've jumped on top of him, so he's led on his back. I've put both my knees in each of his collarbones, and I started punching him repeatedly, left, right, to the point that I'm literally smashing his teeth out of his head. To the point that my youngest brother, bear in mind at the time, he wasn't even 7 years old. He's managed to squeeze himself in between me and my dad. He's grabbed hold of my head, and he screamed at me, screamed in my face, "Please stop, I can't lose you as well. Please, Henry, I can't lose you as well. Please stop." Crying his eyes out. Because up to this point, I'd pretty much raised him as if he was my own son. I was taking him to and from nursery from the age of 2. Just before his fourth birthday, he's in his booster seat in the back of the car, in the middle. He's looking at the cars that are going the opposite direction, going past us, and he's getting the numbers off their number plates, and he's putting them together from one car. Basically, say one car's got, say, 12, and another number plate's got, say, 15. He's going, "Henry, does 12 and 15 make 27? He's not even 4 years old." To which point, I just thought, right, he's got potential. He's got potential. He could go far. He just needs to be guided and pushed in the right direction, and supported and shown, and given the support and the help, and the love and the help that he deserves, that he needs. That I just knew for a fact that he was never ever going to get from his father. I knew that for a fact. So I used to sit at the kitchen table every evening. When he used to finish primary school, I used to go and pick him up in a tractor, bear in mind, because at the time I was the local farm's contract milker. So I used to go. So he basically asked the owner of the farm. I said, "Look, I've got to go and pick my brother and my sister up from school, but I haven't got a full license, so I can't drive the truck. Would you allow me to take one of the tractors to go and pick him up quickly? But whilst I'm down in that area where his primary school was anything, maybe 3 miles from the next basically we had 3 yards. It was literally just down the road from one of our our beef stock thing yards, and he asked me that basically the owner of the farm asked me to go and check on the thing, on the stock down there, and make sure everything was running okay, and make sure the cattle down there had enough feed and whatnot, and everything was alright, and just everything was running smoothly. And I was like, yeah, it's not a problem. So what I've done is I've picked both my brother and sister up. So I've got my brother sat in my lap, but there's only 2 seats. So I've got my sister sat next to me on the passenger seat, and I've got my brother sat in my lap. And I've done that for best part of 2, maybe 3 years, to which point that I'd earned enough money from the work that I was doing that one day I collected the post from the postman directly, and I was I found a warning letter for council tax and a water bill and the mortgage for the house that Mum had been trying to keep from all of us, including my dad, because she knew if my dad found out, God almighty, the fight she would have had on her hands then. If he found out that, the fight she would have had on her hands then. God above. It's just lucky that I found out before he did. That I decided to go straight down to a bank. I took out just shy of nearly £8,500, nearly £9,000 out of my savings, which is pretty much 3/4 of what I had there. I said, and when my mum got home from work, at 6 o'clock in the evening, she's walked through the front door, she's come into the kitchen, like she did every evening, gone to the fridge to get a glass of wine, which she did every evening. There, wrapped round the neck of the bottle of wine, was a plain envelope with literally just written on it, "Open me." That's literally all it said. She's opened it, and she's looked at it, and she's took the money out, and she shouted at me going, "Henry, where's this money come from?" I've gone, "Don't you mean, Ma? Why haven't you spoken to me about the debt you're in and the help you need? Why have you not felt as though that you can come and speak to me? You know that I'll always be there to help you. You know money doesn't make me happy. You know it's never made me happy. You know I've only ever seen it as a means to an end. It comes and goes. It doesn't make me happy. It's never made me happy. The only thing that's ever made me happy is loyalty, friendship, love, family. That's all it's ever meant. That's all it's ever meant the world to me. That's all I've ever found held valuable and precious to me. Nothing else on this earth will ever mean anything more to me than family, and honesty, and support and love." And she went, "But I didn't want to put that burden on your shoulders. Bear in mind, I'm only just come up 17 years old. You're still, in her eyes, I'm still a child." Well, I didn't feel as a child. I felt like I was a man in the house. I felt like I was an adult. I felt like I'd been on the earth for at least 20, maybe 30 years at that point. For what I was doing, and for the responsibilities I was taking on and doing every single day, and not thinking twice about it, and not thinking that I was taking on too much, or doing too much, or expecting too little from my mum. when really she was doing way more, if anything, really too much that was expected of her. Because she wasn't only being the thing mother, she was also trying to be the thing the man in the house as well. And that wasn't fair for her. That was just too much. That's too much for any. That's too much for any person, to be both thing parents at the same time, and then still run a thing 5-bed house, and then still thing care and provide for thing 4 children, and still try and have a thing enough money left over to go on holiday once a year. It was breaking it. It was killing her. To which point, I went, "Man, stop it. You don't need to take on so much. You don't need to feel as though that you're not doing enough. Let me take some of the weight. Let me take some of the responsibility."
What happened to your dad after you?
My parents split up. But because I stayed quiet for so many years, there wasn't enough proof to have them done for abuse. The only evidence and proof that it had was the mental effect that it had on me. They didn't have any physical proof. That was my word against his. And I told both my brothers and my sister to keep their damn mouths shut, to not say a damn word when they came asking questions. Did your father do da-da-da-da to your brother? I told every single one of them to go, "I don't know. I can't remember. I was too young to know. I was too young to know any different." Oh no, they knew exactly what was going on. They knew exactly what he was doing. But because I didn't want any of us to be split up and taken away from my mum, and they didn't want to be split up and taken away from their mum, they listened to what I said and understood what I was saying and kept their mouth shut. And to this day, they've all kept their mouth shut.
It's understandable.
And I've listened to everything and I've dealt with everything myself.
Yeah.
And I'll continue to deal with everything myself.
You said that there was the only proof they had was the mental toll.
Mm.
Can you talk about that? Like what did they say that had happened?
I had a nervous breakdown, I got sectioned.
At that age?
I was in the mental institute for nearly 2 years.
How old were you?
I was 17 and a half. Didn't come out just before my 19th birthday.
And what was your diagnosis?
I still have night terrors and I still struggle to sleep to this day because of it.
It's very common.
I find it incredibly hard to trust any male.
That's why you see it like you was the other night.
Yeah.
And why he appreciates you, I guess, when there's trust.
There's not any other man on this entire earth I trust more than that man right there.
Goes back with it, doesn't it?
Oh, I know you've got my back. I know that. More than you will ever know, bruv.
So you went through the hospital institution for a bit. I bet that was...
And they just told me the same fucking goddamn story every single time. Everything that I already knew. Nothing ever changed. Nothing ever got any better. They just told me the same goddamn fucking answers. I already knew that I'd already been told 5, 6 years prior to this. They're only telling me things I already knew. That I have severe trust issues and chronic paranoia, chronic depression, chronic anxiety, and total lack of trust in any single human being. But because of the way my mother brought me up and raised me. Treat every single human being as you want to be treated, regardless of whether, who they are, what colour they are, male, female, totally irrelevant. They're a damn human being. They have feelings. What happened was I was released from the mental institute in Cardiff. I came back this way, reconnected with my mum, and that's when I found out that she was terminally ill with cancer. She kept it from me for about 3 years to this, up to this point. And they'd given her basically the life expectancy at this stage that she had probably maybe a year, maybe 2, if she was lucky. She lasted 9 months. She took her last dying breath in my arms. Her last words to me were, "Please, Henry, look after your brothers and sisters. Be there for them." My response to that was, "Promise you, Mum, I will always be there for them, no matter what. No matter whether that means that I think I have to put myself out in the streets and put my life on hold to make sure that they get what they want and have the life that they deserve." To which point that was it, she's gone. That was it, gone, done. And that's when the drugs and everything just spiraled. Horribly.
What did you start with? Was it like just a bit of weed?
No, alcohol.
Right.
I was a raging alcoholic. I've got severe scarring on my liver. Like, I shouldn't even be drinking now, to be quite frank with you. Like, every can I have now could be my last can. Like, for all I know, like, the cans I've got now, they could be my last, the can that's sat on the side, that could be my last bin can. I could finish that can and I could just drop, done. That's how severe, that's how dangerous it is. But, like I said, that's how chronic and how severe my depression and lack of care and yeah.
So it started with alcohol, and then obviously you were trying to dull the pain of everything that you'd gone through.
And then My stepbrother, fucking piece of shit. Piece of shit he is. Well, was. Until he died of an overdose. Said, oh, why don't you try this? And passed me a needle. With 3 bags of heroin thing cooked up in it. I can remember it like it was yesterday. $17 mil. Let's put it this way, it was proper gear back then. Same colour as my trousers, is what it was. Proper, dark, treacle. Like Marmite. But had the consistency of golden syrup. And I banged that straight into my neck. Knowing what the risks were. If I missed and hit a nerve, that's me paralysed, that's, if not worse, dead.
What age were you?
I was 13. When I first tried it.
What, heroin?
Yeah.
Black tar?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was purely, firstly I started purely because of the abuse that my father gave me. But then, when it really spiraled out of control, was when me and my stepbrother, we went out drinking. At this point, I'd already got through 3 bottles of whiskey, at this point.
Was this after your mum passing?
Yeah.
So was there always a mixture of...
I literally wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
After mum passed, I just wanted to go. I just didn't want to be here. I still don't want to be here to this day. But the only reason why I'm trying to go to rehab and trying to sort my life out is only because of my brothers and sisters. If I was an only child, I really wouldn't care. I really wouldn't give a fuck.
You're so articulate though, you know, it just... So you do want to care, you do want to try, and you have done, is that right?
Only because I want my brother, only because I want to be there for only because my mum promised me to be there for my brothers and sisters. But if I didn't have brothers and sisters...
You'd be cool by now.
I'd be long gone. I'd be long gone by now. Long gone.
How old are you, Henry?
30.
You're so young.
I'd be long gone by now.
You're so young.
I'd have been dead and everything, maybe. Well, no. I would have been dead 7 years ago. If I didn't have brothers and sisters.
So did you lose your parental home when your mum went, or what was the situation?
Lost everything.
And you ended up where?
Well, at this point, I ended up in prison at this point.
Right. What was that for?
Drugs, county lines. Yeah.
That's how easy it is with county lines, mate. You get yourself right into it.
And what was your stretch?
I got sentenced 12 years. I've done no-nos behind the door.
Did you have to go to...
But because of my incredibly unpredictable temper, how violent, how aggressive I was and still can be, I was sent to a double ACAT prison, which basically means 24/7 lockdown. In other words, your food and everything gets brought to your cell.
Is that where you only laid out 1 hour? Solitary kind of.
Not even that.
Not even an hour.
Is it like Hawfield or worse?
Yeah.
No, fuck me, Hawfield's a thing luxury.
What in comparison?
Oh God, yeah. Hawfield, Christ almighty, you get an hour thing, socialising thing time. You get the thing, come and go and get your breakfast in the morning. No. Double ACAT thing, prison. No. Your breakfast gets brought to you, gets brought to your cell.
Why did you get such a long stretch?
Well, if you've got nearly 9 grand's worth of thing crack cocaine and nearly 10 grand's worth of thing heroin, all chopped up, all thing bagged up into separate shots. Plus you've got 5 machetes and 5 samurai swords sat there. Plus just shy of £150,000 in cash. Sat there.
Was that yours? Or just what you got mixed up with?
I don't know, £100,000 of that was mine. That's what I made. That's the profit, that was my profit, what I earned. That's what I made. But then what got me caught though? I didn't even do a deal. I wasn't even driving the goddamn blood clot car. I was sat in the passenger seat. The driver had done a fucking ongoing thing, shot to an undercover officer. In my fucking car. The reason why I wasn't driving? Because I literally just come out of court for drink driving and had my licence suspended. So I'm there sat in the passenger seat, playing it by the book. I've got a friend, well, thought was a friend, drove my car, I've answered the phone, went and done a thing, shot. He served an undercover officer out of the driver's side window. And then when it went to a court, the video that they had, I even said to the judge, I went, no, you can't do me for supplying, you can't do me for dealing, now can you? Why? Because you can see both my hands do not move. I'm not seeing on the entire video passing anything or grabbing anything from start to finish in the entire video. All I've got is me sat there in the passenger seat of the car with a great big fucking cunting pack sat on my lap.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
And that was enough.
Yeah, it's more enough.
$5 grand of each. Yeah. Ooh. Bang the rights, done, there and then, done. No matter what I think, said or think did, made no difference. They've got me banged the fucking rights, they've got me there and then.
So when you come out of prison, do they not...
Put your licence.
No, yeah, I know they put you on licence, but I mean, is there no sort of rehabilitative, get you back on your feet, these are the skills that you need?
There is now, but it wasn't back then.
There wasn't back then, there is now, wasn't back then.
Because it just seems... people
Back then they just set you up to fucking fail. Back then they literally just set you up to fail, basically. Because they knew.
Jail we have to.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem very rehabilitative to me. It seems just punishment rather than,
That's what it used to be, punishment.
you know, getting people back. But that's why.
Yeah, and the reason for that, and the reason for that is, back then, as soon as you got a thing done for a thing, crime like that, you're seen as scum of the earth, and you're not worth their thing time and their thing money. You're not worth trying to help. You're not worth the rehabilitation thing costs. You're not worth it. Whereas now, it doesn't matter what you think, what you are, what you're involved with, that's irrelevant. You are given every chance and every opportunity like everyone else is. Back then, no way. No fucking way. Christ almighty, they'd rather just fucking lock you up and throw away the key. I lie? Okay.
So how long ago have you been out? Like, what's the trajectory since coming out?
I've been out for just shy of 3 years. But with the way things have been going recently, can't see me being out for much longer. And the reason why I say that, how much feeling police attention have I been getting recently from whilst I've been at Tesco's? How much attention, how often they've been phoning on thing, come over and speaking to me and thing, asking me if there's anything they can do to help me. I'm thinking, and I just look at them, just laugh and go, the best thing you can do for me right now is turn around and fuck off. Because not once in my entire goddamn life have any of you goddamn pig fucking smelly cunts ever done anything to fucking help me. Oh, well, I was here to help you. No, what you're here to fucking do is fucking on things slam me and fucking on pin everything onto me. And try and get me done for as many goddamn crimes as you possibly can. And get me sent away for as long as you possibly can. That's what you're here to fucking do.
Do you like the police much then?
No, can't stand them. Cannot stand them. They're the most bent, crooked, organised gang on this entire planet. That's simple.
Biggest gang. Biggest fucking gang on the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they used to say about the NYPD.
Yeah.
Biggest organised.
Yeah, and that's true.
So, can you explain the injuries that you've got at the moment? Because obviously you're a bit banged up at the moment, aren't you? What happened?
I was involved in a hit and run. Basically, I'd done a little bit of shopping up at a local co-op on Staple Hill. I've come out of the Thin co-op. As I'm crossing over the road, the traffic lights, bear in mind. Well, just up a little bit from the traffic lights. This complete and utter tosser in a Toyota pickup truck is coming toward Cosham Hospital, toward the crossroads. The lights are just starting to go red. The prick thought he could fucking beat the lights. Has put his foot down, trying to beat them. And as he's sped up to try and beat the lights, I'm halfway across the road. He is then collided with me and driven clean straight over my foot. Well, more base of my shin, mainly my ankle, really. And has snapped my shin in 2 places and completely shattered my ankle. And has then left me in the middle of the road, broad daylight, unable to remove myself from the road, remove myself from traffic, remove myself from harm's way, and continue driving on. If it wasn't for an off-duty nurse that had just finished work and was on her way home, seen me dragging myself out of the road by my arms, bear in mind, has stopped point blank right in the middle of the road, put her car side on in the middle of the road, put her hazard lights on, and has jumped out of the front car, has then come over to me, put her arms round underneath my arms, from behind, and bless her, has then tried to pick me up and carry me out the road.